I've been listening to the podcast Be a Better Broker, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think the difference between the video format and doing a podcast is when you set up a podcast, you can list it places and people can go to the gym and things like that in the car and listen to your podcast as they're doing stuff, because some of these podcasts are 30 minutes, some of them are an hour. Like if they have a lot of good content, they're an hour. And there's just usually on Be a Better Broker, it's two people going back and forth talking about cool things, life experiences, being a broker, and about real estate and stuff like that. It's awesome. I love it. Like, I'm addicted to it. I'll admit it, y'all. I will be working and I will be listening to those, or working out and listening to podcasts. I enjoy it. So, today, what are we going to do today? Nicole just asked me, how do you feel about sun-dried tomatoes? Nicole, you know I don't like sun-dried tomatoes. You know this. It's not a secret. Sun-dried tomatoes are just weird. Like, it's weird. Anybody else out there find that weird? It's weird. But what I did want to talk about today is I went, obviously, to open houses over the weekend. Something cool that I've done is I went ahead and paid extra money for the extra chat GPT, so it costs you another $20 a month to be able to get more out of it. And I am really enjoying doing my open houses. I was listening to Be a Better Broker. This guy's awesome. He's in British Columbia. Man, why can't I think of his name? It's always when you're on and you're live, you can't think of somebody's name, but I can't think of his name right now. But the guy is super cool. And he was talking about, he was in a room with realtors, and they were talking about top producing realtors, and that people would not go to agree to do open houses with realtors, which is crazy. Like, you're talking top producing realtors. That's a lot of money in mortgage for a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker like myself. Why would you not spend the time to get off your butt on a Saturday or Sunday, especially when it's slow, and go to an open house with a realtor? Like, that's ridiculous, unacceptable. And if you're one of the ones that are out there complaining, talking about how slow it is, go to open houses. You know, do something. Market yourself. Come on and do a video. You know, talk about first-time home buying. Something. You need to be doing something, not just sitting around moping. But I found it was way cool, and I love going to open houses. I love meeting a ton of people. Like, there's nothing better than going out and meeting people that you haven't met. And I do it in Lantana because I live in Lantana. And it's so many of the realtors don't know the full extent of the HOA in Lantana. They don't know the restrictions of Lantana and the Lantana HOA. They don't know the amenities that the HOA has to offer here in Lantana. Every community is way different. Every HOA is way different. So you have to specify per community. I've been over to the community that's more north of here, which is their HOA is way more expensive in Canyon Falls. Their HOA in Harvest is way more expensive than Lantana. And I don't know if the amenities are that much better because I can't speak there because I don't live there, but I do live here. So I love helping people that are in Lantana and they want to hear about they want to hear about the HOA in Lantana and the ongoings of Lantana, the Lantana schools, which I've experienced all 3 schools. I lied. Well, not really. I didn't really lie. I've experienced 3 schools in Lantana. I've experienced EP Razor, I've experienced Harpole Middle School, and I've experienced Geyer. But there is 2 more elementary schools that I never experienced, which is Blanton and Atkins. So those are the 2 that I didn't experience, but I've experienced the other ones. The schools here in Lantana, 2 thumbs up, 100%. If you're a teacher out there that's watching and you have taught in Lantana, thank you 100%. Or if you're a teacher at Geyer, thank you 100%. They do a fantastic job. My kids have learned so much. I really appreciate it. But these are the type of conversations that you should be having with the customers that come into the open houses. especially, if they're young and they have kids. Maybe they're too young now, but they'll grow up and then they'll go to school here. For the schools, Lantana's 100% worth it. I'm happy to be here, even though the taxes were a lot higher back in the day than they are now. It was still worth it. It was still cheaper than sending my kids to private school, for sure. So I did open house Sunday. I didn't do Saturday. Why didn't I do Saturday? I don't remember why I didn't do Saturday this week. I didn't do Saturday this week. Oh, because there was only one open house on Saturday this week because of 4th of July weekend. That's my excuse. It's true. There was only one open house. I'd been there before. I know the realtor. It is what it is. But Sunday was extremely good. I had a good time on Sunday. Most of the houses that I went to, I think I already knew the realtors. I knew of them, or they knew of me. Mary Davenport definitely knew me. The other three did not. So I met Holly Barnes at an open house, and I met, Robert at an open house. I met some really cool realtors at the open houses. I had a good time, but it's funny because today I wanted to do my first show with a realtor, and I had a realtor in mind that I wanted to do the show with, but that realtor did not want to be on camera and did not want to do it, wanted to do more research on coming on and doing something and just not talking about it. He's like, what are you going to talk about? Just nothing? I'm like, no, man, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. You can always find something. But, and this is the same person that also said that they don't particularly like AI. I love AI. Does anybody else out there just love AI? The statistic the other day that I was listening to in the podcast that I listened to said that only 20% of mortgage brokers are using AI, and 20% of realtors are using AI technology. So those folks are going to be way behind. If you're not doing that, you definitely should, because it will make your life better. I wanted to make a little logo for a shirt that said Open House Sunday on it, and I'll probably make another one that says Open House Saturday on it, because it's fun, and AI will make that for you. It's something you used to have to pay like $500 to have somebody design for you. AI makes it for free. In my case, I pay $20 a month to my AI service. Not very much, and well worth it, because I don't know, it's saving $480 good? I think so. I'm excited. I'm going to make a Open House Sunday shirt and an Open House Saturday shirt. One of the things I did get when I went to an open house on Sunday is from Mary Davenport. She had these cool little sheets. So I'm going to kind of go off the sheets. This is a home buying process. And some of these processes are a little backwards, in my opinion. Just, I don't know. I've only been doing this for 16 years, so maybe I'm wrong. But the first thing is pre-approval. And it says preliminary documents including W-2, pay stubs, bank statements, and tax returns. So you only need tax returns if you're self-employed. Other than that, W-2s and pay stubs work. 30 days of pay stubs, okay? So that's step number one. But really, step number one should be to pick your mortgage broker, or you can go with a bank. You can go with a mortgage broker or a bank. Brokers are becoming more popular than banks nowadays. Banks are it seems like they're kind of trending out of mortgage lending, but the broker world is growing. So if you're out there and you work for a bank now and you're considering coming to the broker side, I would love to talk to you. I'd love to help mentor you and tell you the do's and don'ts and the good and the bad and the ugly. Or if it is, good, bad, or ugly, I will give you that. So you need to pick your mortgage person. Who do you want to use? Are you going to go to your bank, or are you going to go to a broker? I wonder what it is. Like, I want to look at AI and just type in statistically what offers are taken more. Is it from a mortgage banker or from a mortgage broker? Which offers are accepted more? When you make an offer on a house, like, will the listing agent accept the offer from a broker or from a bank? Which one are they going to choose? I can tell you from past experience, being a mortgage banker for 16 years, most real estate professionals do not like the banks. And here's the why. They don't like the banks because the banks take forever to get your loan. What's up, Kenny? I know you're there. Kenny, hoot. Hey, Kenny. So realtors don't like the bank. And here's the problem with the bank. Honestly, it's the processing and underwriting. Like the rate and the cost are good. They're pretty good. They're decent. But the processing and underwriting is not decent because if your processor's in one state and your underwriter's in another state, how do you react that and react it quickly? It's better, you get better connectivity when everything is lined up, right? Like if it's a straight line and you don't have to curve over here and then fly over here and then come this way and then, Lord forbid, if there's more than one problem and you have to reverse it, right? It's easier just to go straight line. And that's what makes being a mortgage broker better than being a mortgage banker, because you can't go that straight line. Other than that, if you want to close fast, let's go. My name's Bo, and I'm ready. Being a mortgage broker, it's super quick. The thing that takes probably the longest is this docs, because you have to get docs out in certain times. And, if I think I did a 12 day, maybe 10. But that's the thing that takes the longest because you have a timeline on docs. But if you have questions about that, let me know. The first thing is to get pre-approved, and this sheet is right. Get pre-approved, find the person that you want to use. The second thing, so on here it says find a home. That's not your second thing. Your second thing is go to a real estate agent. Why do you have to use a real estate agent? Because you want somebody to be able to value that house and tell you the area, the good, bad, and ugly of the area. And the main purpose is they're going to guide you the right way. They're going to make sure that you find a good house. We're going to find that you're not overpaying for a house, because you're going to find out later in the process if you are overpaying, because you're going to have an appraisal done. They're going to tell you what the value of the house is. So you do want a good local realtor that will actually give you a good appraised value and actually listen to you. Listen to your needs, listen to your wants. They're there for emotional support, 100%, especially for new home buyers or first-time home buyers. They get really scared. I was talking to a realtor today, and they were talking about, that they didn't like a certain other realtor's commercial saying it was stress-free. Well, why can't it be stress-free? It's kind of what I was thinking, even though they were kind of right. Like, it can be stressful, but if you follow steps and do it right the first time, it's not that stressful. It's really not. Let me take your stress. I'm not going to lose any hair over it, so just let me take the stress, because I'm not going to lose hair over it. So second step. Get a really good realtor. So first, find your mortgage broker or banker. It's fine either way. Second, find a good realtor. And when I say a good realtor, it may not be a friend of a friend of a friend or a family member said use so-and-so. I mean, is so-and-so in the area that you're looking for? Like, that's probably the most important thing when you're picking a realtor. Are they the absolute expert in that area? Like, if you're looking to move to Lantana, why would you not choose one of our 20 realtors that lives here in Lantana? Seriously, if you're moving to Flower Mound, why would you not use a realtor who lives in Flower Mound? I mean, that's the one big value that a realtor is going to offer to you, is being an expert of that area. They know the area. They know the houses in the area. They know the value. They might even know what problems have occurred in that area, because they've probably sold more than one house in that area, to where they know the little good, bad, and the ugly. And that's what you need to choose when you're looking at a realtor. Are they local in that area? Super important. I don't care if it's your mom's best friend's brother's cousin's uncle nephew who lives in Louisiana who now wants to be the realtor in Texas. That's not going to work. You want a realtor that's an expert in the area that you're looking to purchase. Trust me on that 100%. I don't know who's calling me, but we're going to void this out. Bye-bye, Ernie, Pennsylvania. You can wait. I'll call you back, though. You may be a customer. You never know. So the second thing on this is it says application process, submit updated documents for the pre-approval. If you're already pre-approved, all right, so there's pre-qualification and pre-approval. Pre-qualification is the first phone call we're gonna have together. I'm gonna get you pre-qualified within the first 30 minutes of our conversation. The next thing is to provide documents to me, such as those W-2s, 30 days of pay stubs that we had talked about earlier. I want all the documentation. I want your asset docs. I want to know how your loan's gonna work and what's the maximum amount that I can approve you for. This is important. Once we have that, I'm going to send it to underwriting and you are going to be pre-approved versus pre-qualified. This is important. So the next step is to find the home, all right? So a good realtor who's local, we've already discussed that, and we're going to go that route, right? Not just because it's a friend of a friend. We're going to find a realtor for that area. And if it's in Denton County and you're looking for that realtor in this area, in a specific spot, be in North Lake or be in, Lantana, Flower Mound, Louisville, I'm going to find you a realtor in that specific area who is the expert subject in that area, because this is super important. All right, so now we're pre-approved. We found a realtor. They set us up on the best home listing site. Like, we can see they're going to set you up on a list, and they're going to find the house that you require. You know, the one with the 3-bedroom, 2 of the bedrooms downstairs, and 3 full baths, and a 3-car garage, and a swimming pool, a white picket fence around the pool, and on the balcony, it's enough for 6 chairs, and it has 2 of the toilets downstairs and 1 of the toilets upstairs with the theater and the putting green, and I'm just making this stuff up as I go. You can be as specific on a search as you want to be. The more specific, the better. It's almost like putting in the search for Google. The more specific you are, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be. It's the same when it comes to a search. And then they're going to find the right home for you. So what you're going to do at that point, once you have found the home, here's things I want you to think about when you find a home. And this is something I talked about on Open House Sunday, is you should be able to go to that house before you make an offer on it. I want you to go to that house 3 times. I want you to go in the morning time, the afternoon, and also at night. And you may try it on a weekend day, a weekend night, and then a weekday sometime. But you want to get to know that neighborhood. You're going to make a huge investment. And we need to make sure that this house is for you. But you need to check out that neighbor. Talk to the neighbors. Are you scared to go knock on a door? I'm not. I will go talk to the neighbor. When I first saw this house 14 years ago, I talked to Chad. His name was Chad. He was in his front yard with his son, G, and I talked to him. I'm like, do you love this place? And they do. They did. Still do. They just live in Isabel, and they moved out of Laurel. But we gained two other good neighbors over there, so that's fine. All right, so once you've done that, we found the house. We're gonna make an offer. Like, we know the value of the house. The realtor has given us a good indication of, hey, I'm gonna offer this amount. Does this seem reasonable for this house? And if your realtor will know if it seems reasonable or not, and will give you advice. So we get that. Now we get a contract. Like, the cool thing about somebody like me is I will reach out to the listing agent and I will personally sell you to that listing agent without giving up too much detail, because I'm not going to give them details, but I am going to sell you to the best of my ability to that agent and why to accept your offer, and so we can get things moving forward. So let's say now that I have sold your agent, I have sold that listing agent on why your contract is the best. We have an executed contract. Okay. So the first thing you're gonna do when you get an executed contract, the first thing people always think is, oh, I'm gonna lock in rate. You can't. It depends what kind of timeline we have. So sometimes on a contract, we're gonna have 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Some people have a lease back. So we may or may not have time, but the first thing that you should do is get an inspection. So it says right here, get your house inspected. And once again, you want somebody who's local to do your inspection. You don't want somebody flying from New York City to come and inspect a house here in Texas because they probably don't know about the clay situation and know to look at foundation and other stuff. You want somebody that's local to your area, so that's where you're going to be there. So the next step on here says processing. Well, by the time I've already got your loan pre-approved, you're already in processing with my dedicated processor, Ilya Yurko. You're already with Ilya. We're already doing group communication to tell you where we're at in the process. So processing is what it says the next step is. But once your inspection comes back, at that point, if you do need an appraisal, sometimes you don't need an appraisal. So if you're putting down 20% on a certain house, sometimes it doesn't require an appraisal, sometimes it does. But once the inspection comes through and you can live with anything that's on that inspection report, and that realtor has now gone back to negotiate with the listing agent on what the inspector found, things that may need to be fixed, or hey, just give me money for this thing and we'll get it fixed later. Yeah, that's where you are when it comes to inspection. Once the inspection's done, we'll order the appraisal. If you can live with everything that's on the inspection and things are gonna get made good there, you're good. So it says here underwriting. Okay, so the next step is underwriting. You've already been through an underwriter. You're already pre-qualified. So they may be fine-tuning things at that point. They may have a question about your credit inquiries because you may have shopped with other creditors, and you may have large deposits that you didn't really talk about before. But I can't imagine getting that far and being pre-approved. Like usually, as soon as you run it through the AI approval, through the lender that I go through quite a bit, the investor will tell you, hey, these are going to be your conditions. So you're already working on those by the time you're waiting on an inspection report to come back. But it could be, you go to underwriting again. The next thing says commitment. So outstanding condition items in the commitment letter are final cleared. So that basically means that you've already been cleared out. You're going to be cleared to close as long as the appraisal comes back and the appraisal is good. At the same time, the title report is going to come back. As soon as I typically lock in an interest rate, or when I first get that contract, they're ordering title pretty quick. And most good title companies will interact with us quickly to say, hey, can you send me the title search that you need? And we get that out fairly quick. So we're to that point, and we're to the place where you really want to be. And this is the best acronym there is. It's CTC, clear to close. Like, that's where you want to be. You're clear to close. Your appraisal came back, it aligned, the value's there, the appraisal says as is, which means nothing has to be fixed, the roof's not jacked, there's nothing in the house that's jacked that says it has to be done prior to close. That's where you want to be, cleared to close. All right, so now you're cleared to close, so now we're just waiting on the date. So what's going to happen next is, before you can close on any property, a 3-day letter has to go out. It's a 3-day disclosure. And I should talk more about the disclosures because I didn't. When I first pull your credit and have a property address, I have to give you the initial disclosures that day. I have 3 days to get it out to you and have it signed. So I can't order appraisal until the initial disclosures are signed. And something to say about initial disclosures is it does have a amount to bring to close on it. Is it ever correct? No. Usually it's really overinflated, and the reason it's overinflated is there are certain items that you have to you don't have to overinflate. We overinflate because if we're off by more than 10%, the money comes out of my pocket. So I would rather say it costs more to do something on that initial disclosure and money not have to come out of my pocket if I'm wrong than to do it afterwards. But most of the time, that initial disclosure is way overinflated. There may be things wrong on the disclosure that we can fix for you. It's not final paperwork by any means of the imagination. So by the time we get to this point to where now we're cleared to close, we've made it this far, cleared to close, you're going to get a 3-day disclosure sent out to you. Typically, you want that to go out on a Monday because you have to wait 3 days to close. Wednesday's a dead day. So let's say that you want to close on Thursday. Well, your paperwork has to be in and that has to be signed and done by Monday. And if you want to close on Friday, it has to go out to you on Tuesday. If it goes on Wednesday, you're looking at Monday of next week. So the 3-day disclosure after you're ready to close, you're going to get a final disclosure 24 hours before you go to close on it. That's going to give you the final amount that you have to bring to closing. A lot of people will have money wired to closing. My fear about money being wired to a closing is if anybody tries to manipulate that wire transfer, you could be toast. I've heard it happen. I haven't personally had it happen, but cashier's checks are pretty good too. You just go get a cashier's check or, a guaranteed check prior to close made out to the title company, you're fine. If there's any overage or underage on it, I believe most title companies allow you to write a personal check up to $1,500. It might be $500 at some, but $1,500 is what I've heard. And if you're overpaying, the title company will give you money back same day. So clear to close, 3-day disclosures out. Your next step is a final walkthrough of the house. So anything that was on your inspection that needed to be corrected or you needed money for, anything of that nature, that's where you look at it and make sure everything is copacetic on your final walkthrough. And usually this happens a day before closing or the evening before closing. I've even had people do it the morning of closing to make sure the house is what it's supposed to be and what you have agreed to. Next step is closing. All right, we've got our final docs. We're going to the closing. And this is where it gets super exciting because you're going to go in and you're going to walk away with keys. You're going to transfer a little money and you're going to walk away with the keys to your house after it's funded. Usually fundings take anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depending on how fast the title company works with the lender or the investor. So 1 to 3 hours is fairly normal. At that point, I go to my closings, and I know most of the realtors will go to the closings as well. That's the cycle right there, y'all. We went through this whole cycle in one live broadcast. I hope it was educational to you. I plan to do something every week, and I could do it on Wednesday afternoons. So I know that hypothetically, the best time to get on and do social media work is Wednesday between the hours of 3 and 4 or 3 and 5, whatever it says. But if Tuesday works better for you, let me know. I'd like to be able to do these live feeds more, and I would like to answer any mortgage-related questions or just questions that I can answer for you and be helpful as I can to my people that are out there because power of social media is awesome. It truly is. And I really couldn't believe some of the stuff I was hearing today. Ooh, maybe the next one that we do next week should be the 10 questions to ask at every open house. This is pretty good. Mary Davenport, this is a good sheet. Thank you for providing me with a subject to talk about. My name is Bo Rogers. I'm known as the Money Man. I am a mortgage broker with Nexa Mortgage, the best mortgage company out there or best brokerage out there. And my NMLS number is 620948. We're an equal housing lender. And if you would please do me a favor, and if you like the information that you got from here, if you can give me at least a thumbs up, if not a comment. I would like to hear more about what you want to know more about in the world of brokering or in the world of real estate in general. And I look to go on and do bigger and better things, and it's going to be fun. Everybody have a good week. Thank you for listening. Thank you.